Welcome back. Today is March 18, 2026. There's a lot of news to process today. Take a breath. We're going to look at the signals together and find what you need to know. We start with the sounds of escalation. Israel has moved into a much more aggressive phase of its campaign inside Iran, successfully targeting the Iranian intelligence minister and other high-ranking officials within the regime. This isn't just a shadow war anymore. Iran has responded by launching missile strikes and using cluster bombs against Israeli territory and energy sites across the Persian Gulf. Here is why this matters at your dinner table tonight. When these strikes hit gas and oil fields, the ripple travels across the ocean and ends up at your local gas station. We are seeing diesel prices cross the $5 mark across the United States. Think about this for a second. Every single thing you buy, from the milk in your fridge to the shoes on your feet, gets to you on a truck that runs on diesel. This is a massive hidden tax on your household budget, making everything from heating your home to feeding your family more expensive just as the world feels less stable. We are looking at a situation where a regional war in the Middle East is no longer a distant headline, it is a direct drain on your bank account. To deal with this energy emergency, the president has taken the rare step of temporarily waiving the Jones Act for 60 days. This law usually requires goods moved between our ports to be on American ships, but the fuel and fertilizer shortages are becoming so critical that the government is trying to move supplies as fast as possible to keep the economy from stalling. But as we try to fix the flow of goods, our own domestic security is hitting a breaking point. A government shutdown focused on the Department of Homeland Security has left TSA agents and border officials working without pay. We are seeing record numbers of sickouts and protests at our airports right as spring break travel peaks. Think about the stress of that. You are trying to take your family on a trip, but the people responsible for your safety are wondering how they will pay their own rent. It creates a sense of vulnerability, not just at the airport gate, but at our borders, where the people we rely on are being pushed to their limits without a paycheck. While the pressure builds at home, the political landscape is shifting in a way we haven't seen in years. In Illinois, the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, often called the Squad, faced a nearly complete wipeout in the primaries. Centrist candidates backed by major AI industry funding and pro-Israel groups have taken those seats. This tells us that the anti-war voice in Washington is fading, and the political momentum is swinging toward a much more hawkish and traditional foreign policy. At the same time, we are looking south at Cuba. Following a total collapse of their power grid due to a U.S. oil blockade, there is talk from the White House about taking control of the island to restore order. This isn't just about geopolitics. A conflict or an attempted takeover just 90 miles from Florida would likely trigger a massive refugee crisis. It could mean thousands of people arriving on our shores in search of safety, creating a new and permanent theater for our military right in our own backyard. The war is not staying contained. Israel has begun a massive bombardment of Lebanon, targeting infrastructure to isolate Hezbollah and prepare for a total war scenario. Over 1 million people are already displaced. And as we ask our military to stand in the middle of this, we are seeing signs of deep fatigue. The USS Gerald R. Ford, our premier aircraft carrier, is being pulled back from the theater for emergency repairs after fires and mechanical failures. Internal reports are showing sinking morale among the crew. These are our sons and daughters out there, and they are working with equipment that is failing under the intensity of constant deployment. Here is the part that is hardest to hear. Intelligence officials, including Tulsi Gabbard, testified that even with all these strikes, Iran's regime remains intact and dangerous. Even worse, the UN Atomic Energy Chief warned that military action cannot destroy the knowledge required for a nuclear program. We are spending billions of dollars and risking lives in a conflict that might not even achieve its primary goal of stopping a nuclear Iran. It feels like we are drifting into a long-term war without a defined mission or a clear way out. This uncertainty is holding the entire economy hostage. The Federal Reserve has decided to keep interest rates steady, explicitly pointing to the war-driven oil spikes as a reason they cannot offer any relief yet. If you were hoping for lower mortgage rates or a break on your credit card interest, those hopes are on hold because of the instability in the Middle East. And it isn't just the banks. Even the post office is running out of money, with warnings that they could be out of cash by 2027. They are talking about raising stamp prices to nearly $1 and ending daily residential mail delivery. Think about the people in rural areas who rely on the mail for their prescriptions or the small businesses that depend on that daily rhythm. We are seeing the basic services that hold our communities together start to crumble while our resources are directed toward global conflict. In the midst of this, the way we handle money and war is being reinvented by technology. Financial regulators have finally given the green light for digital assets, declaring that most cryptocurrencies are not securities. This is the institutionalization of crypto, allowing big banks to integrate it into the financial system. It might change how you save and invest forever, but it also comes at a time of high volatility. While the money goes digital, the war is going autonomous. A drone company backed by Eric Prince saw its value jump 500% because it is developing AI-led drone swarms that don't need human pilots. We are moving into a world where warfare is becoming privatized and automated, driven by tech companies rather than traditional standing armies. It's a future that feels more like a movie than reality, but the investments are happening right now. But for many, the crisis is much more basic than drones or digital coins. In places like Corpus Christi, Texas, a major water emergency is only 2 months away. Drought and decaying infrastructure have brought the city to the brink of collapse, and the governor is having to allow unregulated drilling just to keep the taps flowing. This is the human ripple that hits closest to home. We can talk about global signals and international strategy, but at the end of the day, it comes down to whether there is water in the tap and whether you can afford to drive to work. The world is changing fast, and the signals are pointing toward a season where we have to be more resilient and more connected to our neighbors than ever before. The news was heavy, but you are not carrying it alone. Stay connected. Stay present. We are right here with you. See you in the next brief.